Harbo Freight is changing the game yet again, and boy, it's going to tick off all the tool bros out there. Yep, they're doing something that you usually only see in the high-end tool sets, and that is master sets. Now, I'm a big one. I've been really anti-tool sets. If you've ever been around the channel, you know I'm not a big fan of them because these big, broad sets, they'll have, you know, maybe some decent sockets, but then they'll have just okay wrenches, and then they'll have a bunch of cheesy stuff, and the ratchets will be so-so. Anyway, master sets are something completely different. Master sets are designed for people who are like, I want half-inch sockets. Boom. I want 3/8 inch impacts. Boom. I want, you know, hex bit drivers. Boom. And you get them all. And Harbo Freight has quietly just slid out, was it 5 or 6? 6 of them, I think, master sets in the Quinn line, right in the prosumer. Something we just don't see. They were nice enough to send them over to me. So we're gonna jump through them, and then we're gonna focus on one in particular for this video. We're gonna cover the rest of them in other videos. But the sets are right now, they have the 87-piece master bit socket set coming in. Look at it. You got a ton of stuff in this. 87 pieces, a nice blow molded case coming in at $100. Then we've got the 3/8 drive SAE and metric master impact socket set. We've got the half-inch drive master impact socket set. We've got the 1/4 inch in chrome. We've got the 3/8 in chrome. And finally, what we got here today is the half-inch drive SAE and metric socket set. This thing, 83 pieces for $150. This is a full set, as you saw in the video. I'm going to do a quick little flyby here, and you can see what I'm talking about here, because this set is fantastic. It's got everything you're going to need, and we're talking no skip kind of sets. It's like 10 up to like 32 millimeters. It's absurd how many sockets are in here. You got SAE, you got metric, you got deep, you got shallow. They're all 6-point. That's something else you don't usually see in the DIY beginner kind of stuff. Often you'll see these catch-all 12-point kind of systems. A full 6-point system of deeps and shallows and SAE and metric. This one has it all. And then on top of that, they're going to throw in a couple swivels on it, that really nice extension on there. And then you got a pretty decent, pretty good, honestly, ratchet. I mean, it's maybe I get a little picky, you know, I'm 55 and I've had a bunch of sockets and stuff. I maybe get a little picky, but man, if you're trying to get it done and get going, I mean, this could also, besides being a great homeowner set and a prosumer kind of set, I could definitely see somebody who's getting into the trade starting off with something like this. I mean, for $150, and that's list. And you know Harbo Freight's got sales. They've always got sales. Let me pull up my calculator here, because you know they've got one of those 20% sales coming around the corner. They always do. And so if you're looking at 150, I could probably do this in my head, it's 10, maybe 50 or 30 bucks off. So that'd be $120. $120. Let me just double check my math, because I always want to make sure. $120 for a 83-piece master set. Now, this is the thing that I remember when they announced this. Now, this is new. When they announced it, they always like to compare versus somebody. And I'm like, of course they're not going to compare when these come out. They're not going to say they compare to Snap-on or something. And they didn't. And on some of the other ones, we look on here, you know, this one compares to Blue Point. And it might, honestly. It's a pretty nice, I've had a couple master socket sets or bit driver sets, and this is as good as any of the ones that I've seen. Then we've got this one comparing to the Milwaukee. That's, I guess, not a huge fan of the Milwaukee stuff. The Capri, this one compares to Capri. I actually like Capri stuff. They actually recently sent me some stuff. Maybe I can find a set of the Capri ones to compare that against. Then this one compares to Tecton, and Tecton. Now, I have long been a fan of Tecton. And this is, you know, people are going to say, well, you're biased or something because Harbo Freight sent you these. Well, if you haven't been around the channel, I've been a fan of Tecton for a long time, and Tecton sent us a bunch of stuff. In fact, I was one of the first channels to really let people know who Tecton was and who was behind it, and that it was a family-run company out of Michigan, not some no-name, just on Amazon kind of brand. And Tecton's grown into this huge online company. They're well-known for their warranty, just like Harbo Freight, but Harbo Freight's in-store, Tecton is online. They're apples and oranges, and yet they're both nice and sweet to buy, so here's the comparison that they're making here. Let's just take a look at it. So they're saying this compares to the Tecton set SKT 25302 that I just happen to have that set. This is, let And let me see if I can zoom in here on this a little bit, get you a little better picture on there. So this is their 1/2-inch drive 6-point socket, and they were one of the first ones to come out with a master set like this in the 6 points, and that was a big deal when they came out. And we're looking at $265 on a set like this versus $150. Is that right? $150 versus, they're saying $270 here, but it's $265. Now, to be fair to Tecton does knock 10% off, so they're going to knock $26.50 off. But let's take a look at the sockets themselves and the ratchet and the extension, and we'll do a direct side-by-side, see which one's better. Let's take a look at them. All right, so we're going to take a look at the Quinn 1/2-inch master set, and I brought some of my Tecton here to compare it against. So let's open up the set here. See what all we have. I think it's going to stay like that. There we go. All right, well, let's start off with what everyone thinks is the heart of a set like this. And we're going to take a look at the ratchets. So this is a Quinn ratchet. Off, on. Get closer to it. As opposed to the original Tecton. We can look, they're about the same height. The Quinn's a little bit longer. Tecton's a little bit lighter. Now, Tecton's a quick release, whereas this is like your standard off and on. Much narrower head on the Tecton. Snap ring versus screws to access it. I do like the groove here for the finger on the Tecton. But I would say I'd have to give the win to the Tecton on this one. What do you think? All right. Now, as far as the extension, here's the Quinn extension versus the Tecton extension. I don't know if I could tell the difference between those two. There's a slightly different pattern on the Tecton. The Tecton, I don't know if you can see this here, has a recess, then the knurling with another recess, whereas the Quinn is just straight recess, or straight knurling. And I would say the knurling on the Tecton is better. Pretty close. Looks like it might have a little bit more chamfering on the Tecton, but man, it is difficult to tell the difference between these two. All right, Tecton stays out here. This one goes back in. All right, let's take a look at one of the bigger ones here. Of course, Tecton, well known for having their 6 points. This is a 27 millimeter. All right, shallow. 27. I gotta give points to the Quinn for the blue line. I like being able to at a glance know that I picked up a metric. Internally, the finish level is much better on the inside of the Tecton. I'm trying to make sure there's not like an oil or something in there. The Tecton has a much better finish and looks like it's more machined, but there's nothing about it that says it's going to work better. They both have chamfering in the corners, so they bite on the sides, not the edges. Tecton has the laser engraving. Tecton part number 27. And then it recesses down here. Whereas this is just a straight shaft. I will say this, the roll stamping on the Quinn is, you could feel it's deeper set than this laser etching, or I don't know if that's laser or roll stamping, but this, I could see after a lifetime of use disappearing, whereas the Quinn, that's going to stay there. We look at the bottom, the broaching on it. The Tekton's got a better level of fit and finish. As far as the outside diameter, they're identical. 3/8 deep. Three-eighths. Well, as far as the height, they're the same. The Tekton's going to give you a longer, deep well on it. Again, the laser versus the roll stamping. Now the Tekton has the same recess, they just didn't take the time to paint it. You could, you know, some fingernail polish or something, you can lay it in there. This one seems, wow, this one seems nearly identical. The quality on the inside, the fit and finish. Oh, I couldn't tell the difference. I don't know, a wash between those two. What's this? This is a 22. Let's take a look at 22 deep. Okay, 22 versus 22. Same height. Wow. Yeah, the inside on these is nearly identical. Let me do this. Yeah. I see no difference really on them. They look like they could come out of the same factory. I think maybe this one just happened to have slightly better finish. Let me look at another larger one. Yeah, the finish of that is equal to that one. I think it might just be something they finished it with, anti-rust coating or something. They're nearly the same tools. Well, I know you're there looking through the camera, and of course someone's always going to have this opinion of, well, I could tell from blah, blah, blah. I was here firsthand, and here's what I'm going to say. In almost all of them, it's next to impossible to tell. If somebody was holding these so I couldn't see the names on them and I could just look down into the broaching, only because I've looked at them a lot. Like if I hadn't seen them beforehand, I would not be able to tell, like, hey, this one's Tekton, this one. There was one from the Quinn line where the inside finishing wasn't quite as glossy as it is on the Tekton. And I've seen that with other sockets, and maybe there's more in the Quinn line. I didn't go through every single one. So I will give it a point to Tekton there. And I will say Tekton has a better level slightly. I mean, it is very marginal, but Tekton does have a better level of fit and finish when you look at the two. I will say that the stamp rolling on the Quinn is deeper. It's more significant. It's going to stick around longer. You don't usually have the same kind of issues with the chromes like you do on impacts where they do that laser etching and it just comes off. It's not that bad, but after years of use, that deeper imprint on that cold roll imprint on that's going to be better. The color on it, I like that they put the color on it. Now I know on the wrenches, I just got rid of. I had some cobalt wrenches that have the same kind of blue and red coloring, and on the wrenches that stripe comes off, but it's very surface level on those. We'll have to wait and see to see how long the color lasts on this, but they're nice and recessed in there. I think it'll last for a good long time. As far as the ratchet themselves. I got to give that win to Tekton. Tekton has a better ratchet. There's just no two ways about it. Is it like miles better? I would say it's miles, but it's you know, to the end and block and back at least. As far as the extension, again, a little better level on the fit and finish, a little better on the knurling, and everyone knows I'm a huge snob when it comes to knurling, so I'm going to give the win there to Tecton. But when I look at $265, I mean, don't even get me started about what Snap-on would cost. But at $265 on this, you know, if I'm looking at this, I'm like, is the fit and finish better at $265 than at $150? Is it $100? Is it $100 better? It's not going to be quite $265 because, well, I mean, I'm going to say, well, we'll give the Tecton, it's going to get $26.50 off. So let me pull out the calculator here again. 265 times 0.9. Now, granted, this isn't money back in your pocket. This is money that you can apply towards your next purchase, but you're looking at $238.50. Well, you know, let's round it to $240 just for, you know, to keep it easy. $240 versus $150. You're like $90 difference. Oh man, I mean, I love me some Tecton, and you know, they're good folks. I like the people that work there, but you know what? Harbo Freight's got some good folks, and they got good people working there. And they're both privately owned. They're both American-based. Both these tools are made in Taiwan. They both have good cases where you can pull a pin out of them and you can put them in your drawer. And man, that is just, honestly, I feel like I have a slight bias towards Tecton. But it kind of feels like for $90, Harbo Freight did a number on them. And if you pull out one of those 20% off coupons, ooh, brother, that's just nasty. And one of the other things, let's go back and look at this, because you can buy the quarterage for $50, this one for $100, this one for $150. So for $300, you can buy, here, let me show you, $150 for the half inch, $100 for the 3/8, and $50 for the quarter inch. So for $300, you can get all three sets. And Tecton does have a deal where you can get all three sets for $475. That's $175 difference. Now, you're going to get at $475 times 0.9. Just make sure I get it right. $425. It's $127.50 difference. And as far as this is 212 pieces. I counted up these three sets, and it's 209 pieces. So you're going to lose 3 pieces and save yourself a Benjamin and then some. I don't know, folks. It's better ratchets, but again, you know, honestly, if at $100, you can go out and buy yourself 3 high-end a set of 3 ratchets. You get the Gear Rich one. You get some of your Icon ratchets. You get some. I don't know how much are the Capri ratchets. I mean, they're not so much better that I don't know. I'm having. You guys let me know. I'm stuck. I can't say it. I feel like I'm choosing between my kids as to which one I like more, and everyone knows I like the Labrador the most. So that one's not even fair. Let me know what you think down below. Are you voting Quinn or are you voting Tecton? Because Quinn finally did it, man. They caught up, and Harbo Freight's doing what Tecton was doing. 6-point master sets, really affordable, high quality, good case with and an outstanding lifetime warranty that they just stand behind. They're like, you know, Harbo Freight's the new Sears. You walk in, you slap it down. They're like, go ahead and get a replacement. And anybody who tells you that when you buy these sets, you got to return the whole set, they're wrong. I've talked to corporate about this a number of times. The policy at Harbo Freight is they have to break open a new set and give you that replacement piece. And if they don't, call corporate. All right? Because there's some people who don't get trained right. And if they're going to be stubborn, be nice. Always be nice. Because you know you're in the right. You don't have to get all pissy with them. But just make sure that they're aware that you're aware. And then everything will get sorted out. Anyway, Tecton them, never have that problem. You take a picture of it, you upload it, and 2 or 3 days usually, you get a replacement. So let me know what you think. Put it down in the comments. If you like what we did here, go ahead and chomp the like button, smash the subscribe, ring the bell on the way out because you want to see the rest of these master sets. We're going to go through each one and try and find the direct comparison of them. So until next time, you all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.